I've done my fair share of challenge runs on this channel before, including this same challenge in Spyro 1 and 2, but I think this one may take the cake. Year of the Dragon demands things of us that Spyro the Dragon and Ripto's Rage never did. This run is not for the weak-willed. You will need skill, know-how, and raw perseverance to pull this one off. But enough yapping, let's explain the rules and get into it. So, basics of the challenge is that I cannot use left, right, or backwards because all of them will cause Spyro to change where he's looking, obviously. And if our goal is to not have Spyro change his angle at all, then we also need to ban everything that's related to camera movement because that can also cause him to change angle. But rolling is still allowed. Charging and flaming, still allowed, of course. Charging is going to be one of the main ways that we do basically anything, because when you charge into a wall at a sufficiently shallow angle, the game will automatically turn you to face parallel to that wall. Oh, and gliding does the same thing. So I've already thought about how this challenge would go down for a bit, and I already know that there will be some problems that I'll have to work out with Sheila and Seashell Shore for this homeworld. There's some other areas in other homeworlds, but I'll save that for later. And yeah, I'm just going to do this homeworld today. So my main concerns for today are going to be Sheila and Seashell Shore. It was in fact very optimistic of me to think that I would get that far in one day. Okay. Every time I play this game, some new random thing I've never seen. When Spyro is underwater, moving backwards does not turn him around, he just paddles backwards. For this reason, backwards movement is allowed only when underwater. Well, I appear to have got myself in a sticky situation there, so I'm just gonna quit the game, go back in. Water is kind of a big problem in this challenge. That's why I said the Seashell Shore is going to be a problem. Don't tell me I did it again. Whatever. 1% done. Just have to do that 100 more times. I mean 99 more times. Oh my god, I can't even get my boring ass jokes right. With 222 gems and 3 eggs collected, I had decided I had done good enough in Sunrise Spring and moved on to Sunny Villa. Sunny Villa is a very straightforward level. The only real problem is when I get myself trapped in water twice somehow. I'll take this time now to explain how some things work. The level that we were in before, Sunrise Spring, is what is called a homeworld. Homeworlds contain portals to other worlds. Every homeworld has 5 of what we could call main levels, 1 flight level, and 1 sparks level. Main levels have the most eggs and gems of any worlds. Main levels also have what you may call a main egg. Main eggs have a few distinct characteristics, but the main thing is you have to collect all 5 main eggs in a homeworld in order to progress to the next homeworld. Flight levels are levels that are centered around flying. Flight levels require such maneuverability that we really can't do much in them other than collect a few gems. Finally, Sparks levels are ones that are played by Sparks the Dragonfly. On PC, which is what I'm on, the controls for Sparks just don't really mesh well with the no steering challenge, so we'll just be skipping over those levels. And with that, we've collected Sunny Villa's main egg, but we've still got a lot of work to do. We need to get 10 eggs to activate the portal to Molten Crater and 14 for Seashell Shore. After scrounging up a few more gems, I pay off money bags for the release of Sheila the kangaroo. In Sheila's Alp, we find an immediate run killer. If we walk forward, we fall off a cliff. Now you see, since Sheila controls differently than Spyro, we need to adjust our rules a bit in order to make the challenge challenging, but not impossible. And there's one single control that we need to reevaluate: moving backwards. When Spyro moves backwards on land, he can essentially get any angle that you want, which made the entire challenge pointless. With Sheila, however, none of those concerns are present, so let's just allow her to move backwards. But, you say, what does backwards movement accomplish here? Well, I didn't do it right. Still didn't do it right. I've done this before. I know it works. By brushing up against the cliff, Sheila was pushed slightly to the left, which got us just in range to talk to Billy the mountain goat. When we talk to Billy, we get pointed in a different direction. To get the first egg, all I have to do is kick one Rhinoc and then talk to Billy in front of his house. The game automatically saves every time you collect an egg. When you die and get put back at a place where the game was saved, you are always put at a preset angle. With that knowledge in mind, I brush up against these two walls to maneuver myself to certain death. I've got this all calculated, except for the fact that I'm on my last life, so instead of going back to that autosave, I end up back in Sunrise Spring and have to start Sheila's Alp all over again. No! You love Source cause it's broken? Well, this is broken too. We have broken game at home. I believe you can do it? Well, yeah, I already did it. Your belief is well placed. After talking to Bobby the mountain goat, I'm at an angle where I can't quite reach my destination, but I am close enough to a moose to make him attack me. The moose has a spot that he likes to guard. When you get too close, he'll charge at you. The moose will go back to his spot either once he hits you or you leave his range. When the moose is going back to his favorite spot, he is completely benign. When the moose is mostly off-screen, he enters a sort of dormant state. This will cause him to not start attacking you even if you're close. If he goes off-screen during an attack, he'll do a skidding animation and then go back to his favorite spot. With some incredible patience, we can manipulate him to push us towards his favorite spot. There. There. Oh, yeah. Not quite. Not quite enough. No. I settled on letting this Rhinoc push me the rest of the way. It's slower and more dangerous than the moose, but it is somewhat more reliable. This is also very scary because I'm one hit away from death and this is my last life. That's another moose. I'm not sure what I should do here. I know in this direction there's fodder, but there's also enemies, so it's like, I don't know. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, we learned that today. No. Come on. Oh, okay. Can can survive at least one hit now. Haha. I still needed to go back to the ice cave to kill the Rhinoc and moose inside it, but when I got there, I somehow got myself permanently stuck inside a wall. Dude. Wow. Yay. Alright, that was pretty much the exact thing that I was hoping for. Now I need to kill the moose, because my idiot friends are afraid of him. Haha.
Hey Sheila, let's play a joke.
Joke here is probably going to be the angle you put me at. How'd I know? It didn't take very long to determine that this angle put me in a soft lock, so once again I was back where I started. Look at him dancing. He knows what he did. Now we just move on to the next guy. Finally, to guide Bobby the mountain goat back to his house, I have to clear out a bunch of Rhinocs and the huts that they respawn from. Before long, the Rhinoc army had been reduced to just a few stragglers, but even this was not good enough for Bobby the mountain goat, the world's biggest wimp. Oh god, that was risky, but I had to do it. The final Rhinoc was positioned absolutely terribly though, pretty much the worst location that I could ask for. Well, this is bad because I'm not totally sure how I'm going to get back over to that last guy. Yeah, I think I'm in trouble again. Oh. Okay. Then we should be good. Yeah. But this did not get me quite over to the Rhinoc. I couldn't even see him on my screen. I knew that I could move further to the right if I went back into the ice cave, but on my way there I accidentally got into a conversation with Bobby, which made my angle something that I didn't expect at all. Okay, he should move now. The last enemy had been cleared, and all I had to do now to receive the third, final, and main egg of Sheila's alb was to talk to Bobby at his house. At this moment, I could have moved forward, brushed against this wall to move to the right, moved backwards, and everything probably would have been fine. One more problem though. I have to be sure not to fall off that ledge. Oh! No! So as I've been doing a million times before, brush up on this wall, talk to Billy, brush up on these walls, death abuse, respawn, Bobby, moose. The ice cave, which by this point my chat had nicknamed Sweden, only took 2 minutes this time because both NPCs cooperated relatively well. This time I made sure to kill this guy before moving to the left side of the area. Not hearing any.
Thanks for the help, Sheila.
Everything up until this point had happened in a single day. A 3-hour stream, and all I had to show for it were 2 main eggs. It's not looking good. After an amount of time though, it was a new day, and the next batch of eggs were not as hard. At the start of Cloud Spires, you have to make a rather big turn, but we can deal with this thanks to a conversation with Cirrus changing our angle and some kind of bug where when I charge against this pillar, I just stay in place. Sure, whatever. Other than that, Cloud Spires is not that interesting. I get 1 egg that was being guarded by a Rhinoc and the main egg. I quickly deemed that the remaining 4 eggs were impossible though. Fortunately, 8 plus 2 is 10, but Molten Crater is another dud of a level. I collect 1 egg that's just sitting out in the open and the main egg, but that's it. 2 of the eggs are intentionally not obtainable until later in the game, and the last 2 are held by egg thieves. Now, in Spyro 1, I did catch several egg thieves, but due to the surroundings, I have no chance of catching these 2. That means we're 2 eggs short of the 14 we need for Seashell Shore. I tried the skateboarding section in Sunny Villa, but it just wasn't working out. In Sunrise Spring, 1 egg requires us to glide to this platform, turn 90 degrees, and then glide to this platform. The middle platform has very little to work with, so initially I wrote this egg off as impossible. When you exit from a portal, Spyro is facing opposite the camera. If you charge, the camera will gradually turn to the direction that Spyro is facing. Once the camera is pointed where you like, you can press forward to point Spyro in that direction. We need to avoid talking to Hunter because that will set the camera and Spyro to a bad angle. Unfortunately, this means he'll never jump over to the last platform and he'll never give us the egg. At the very least, we can now enter a cave with a Superfly power-up. This will let Spyro fly for a short time. When flying, you can press jump to do a flap, which will move you up slightly every time you do it. Haha! There's an egg in Sunny Villa that you're meant to reach by doing a long glide. I couldn't even manage to get up to the place that you're supposed to start the glide from. This also means I won't be able to reach an area where you play as Sheila, so that's another egg that we can count out. Not that I was looking forward to more Sheila gameplay. So it came down to one of the eggs in Cloud Spires that I naively presumed would not be possible. We have to flame 6 evil spirits using a Superfly power-up. You know, normal dragon things. Really, all that we have to do is find the right way to line Spyro up. Execution-wise, this is dead simple. With how many round walls there are in this area, it's easy to get whatever angle we need. Yeah, that's way easier. Yeah, now to Seashell Shore, which I have no idea how I'm going to do. As you have probably gathered by now, not being able to roll underwater is a big hindrance. Well, guess what? This level starts us off underwater with no chance of changing our angle, and the main egg is also underwater. When Spyro charges underwater, the camera gets pointed slightly upward. As we've established before, D-pad movement is based off the camera's direction, so when the camera is tilted upwards, if you press backwards, you'll move back and slightly downwards. This can be exploited to sync. Conversely, if you press forward while the camera is tilted up, you can rise. That was not very difficult, actually. Wow, okay. This is incredibly lucky. With all 5 main eggs collected, I head straight to Buzz's dungeon. In boss arenas, the camera will automatically lock onto the boss, so all of the boss battles in this run play out pretty much as normal except slightly slower because you do still have to roll. I beat Buzz how you would in basically any other playthrough and on the first try. Beating Buzz gets us one more egg for a total of 16, which is terrible. There are 4 homeworlds and we need 100 eggs to fight the final boss, so we need to average 25 eggs per homeworld. We are well below that mark, and everything we've done up until now was a tutorial.
The dragon was woke?
I went back to Seashell Shore to get the egg under the dock and try to get 2 eggs in a Sheila area. Yeah, that didn't work out. I get some easy eggs in Midday Gardens, but then there's a major problem. To access one of the main worlds, we're required to aim up and spit a rock at a target. This would require the use of free look, which is banned. I tried manipulating the game's frame rate to make Spyro jump higher, but even that wasn't enough to reach the target. Now, if you've seen my Ripto's Rage No Steering video, you'll recall that I got up to the second boss, which is far enough to do a trick called level storage. I won't explain the entire trick again, but the important thing is this will allow us to supercharge and fly in Year of the Dragon. So I spent the next 40 minutes completing the game up until that point, only deciding to use cheats halfway through. Why? And then I spent 50 minutes failing level storage for various reasons. Every time I failed it, the game would completely softlock and I would have to close the game and start again from my last save file in Autumn Plains. I give up on the trick for the day, learn a bit more about the trick, and at the start of the 3rd stream, I get it within 15 minutes. My plan was to talk to Hunter to get the rock, then position myself in a way that would allow me to fly up to the same height as the target and hit it from there. This was where the downside of level storage came into play. The game thinks we're in the level Icy Speedway, so we're bound by the 30-second timer that you're supposed to complete that level within. I didn't know what would happen when the timer ran out, but after so many softlocks, I didn't want to find out. If we could complete Icy Speedway, it would be a 10-minute timer instead of 30 seconds, but there's no way we're going to do that without steering. It seemed hopeless, but I noticed something interesting. In Midday Gardens, there are 4 flower pots that you get an egg for destroying. You don't have to destroy them all at once. Once you destroy one and save the game, it is permanently destroyed. So my theory was that if I talk to Hunter and then do something to save the game, I could skip his dialogue in future attempts. A nearby egg thief seemed like the perfect candidate, so I started following him to see how I might theoretically hit him after talking to Hunter.
An egg thief? That should work. That should work. I can't believe I just blew that. Did I just permanently blow that? Like, did I just, did that actually just, I don't know.
With that option permanently gone, I decided I would enter a portal to save the game instead. My theory was not correct. Well, I'm not completely out of ideas yet. Now I am. I started looking at different speedrun categories to see if there was anything interesting, and yeah, it turns out you can charge the target. I was just slightly off.
Yes!
All in all, that was 2 hours and 40 minutes spent trying to hit that target. I'm going to die one day, you know. Ironically, in Enchanted Towers, there's no use for level storage because Sergeant Bird can do all of the flying for us and the 30-second timer will just be a hindrance, so I intend to cancel the glitch after I go back into some other worlds and get some eggs that I could not before.
Okay, don't lose it!
With that, I decide to cancel level storage, which is as simple as exiting the game, and then move on to Sergeant Bird's base. The D-pad does not steer Sergeant Bird at all when in the air, so as long as we stay flying, this level is dead simple. In almost no time at all, we've collected 2 more eggs, one being the main egg, Ryan Lee, aka what my parents called me for half my childhood. Finally, in Enchanted Towers, it's really easy. Sergeant Bird is a big help and we do basically the entire main area. I also managed to pull out an egg in Farley's area, which is very surprising. We finished Enchanted Towers with 29 eggs, which means this video is officially back above 1 egg per minute of content. I get the final egg in Midday Gardens, which requires you to destroy those flower pots. It's very easy because you can take as long as you want.
30 eggs at this point in the game is perfectly good position.
In Spooky Swamp, there's a door that you can pay money bags to open, but it is so easy to skip around that it doesn't even require steering. That's just business.
Fucking wrecked. Oh my god, what the fuck? Get a new job, buddy. Holy shit.
Doobie doobie doo.
In Bamboo Terrace, there's a small water section that I skip by doing a low FPS jump. Other than that, it's another very easy level. Compared to every other level in Midday Gardens, Icy Peak is an impenetrable fortress. There are thick walls of ice that we're supposed to shoot down with cannons, but obviously aiming a cannon counts as steering. There are also places with slippery ice which we cannot roll or jump on. We can do another FPS jump to get over this ice wall, but that won't work for any of the others, so we take a shortcut to the end of the level. Spyro levels are always laid out so that the end of the level is near the start of the level because of reasons? Icy Peak has a supercharged track with 2 egg thieves, much like the one in Molten Crater. The difference here is that you can cheese both of the thieves very easily. Cheesing the red thief is well known, but as for the other one...
Not sure about this one though. I don't know how that's gonna work. I never realized before that you don't lose lives when you go into the when you fall down in this area. What? What just happened there?
Who cares? Let's get the hell out of Dodge. The fight against Spike initially doesn't look too good. When we roll, the game automatically turns us so that we're always facing Spike, which means once we're close to him, we don't have any way to get away from him, aside from whatever this was.
Okay. I don't know how I did that. But, just saved this attempt. Well.
Fortunately, after dying once, there's some kind of bug where rolling goes back to behaving as normal, so I get him down in just a few more tries. Not much else to say.
So, I think the only thing I need to worry about for Evening Lake is going to be Bentley.
Oh, how deliciously wrong. Most of Evening Lake is underwater, so that's going to be a problem, but at least I get a nice entry into the whale's mouth for 1 egg. The Frozen Altars portal is easy to enter. Frozen Altars has a lot of problems, and it's best to just skip to the end.
Thanks for helping out, Spyro.
Starting from the end of the level actually makes things a lot easier, so I can get the majority of the gems, but only 1 more egg. Frozen Altars is right across from Bentley's outpost, so that works out pretty well. In Bentley's outpost, things were not looking good. Bentley controls a lot like Sheila does, except that his jump is worthless, so I make the same backwards movement exception that I did for Sheila. Even with that, the cards are stacked way against Bentley, and it doesn't take me very long to call it quits for the day.
As it stands, I don't see any way to get through this level, but maybe I'll find something. I don't know. If I do, then I'll continue the streams, but until then, I think the run's dead.
First up is Bentley's brat brother Bartholomew. He wants to have a conversation with us, but he is cringe and he will put us at a bad angle, so we jump to avoid talking to him. Next, we have to kill 2 Rhinox and then meet Bartholomew at the gong. This was initially where I gave up, but it's really not that hard. The first guy will move towards us, so he's easy enough to kill. In order to reach the second guy who does not move and to meet Bartholomew at the gong later, we need to brush up against multiple things. One of those being this big icicle which we have to jump off the ground to touch and then quickly turn around so we don't fall to our death. Now we have to deflect a snowball to open the path ahead. At this point there would be an egg across the gap for you to collect, but I already got it in my practice runs. Up next, 3 snowball wielding seals with the constant threat of falling separating us from them. I'm sure it would have been impossible if not for the fact that the camera will automatically turn to face each seal individually. So then we back up to move to the right to talk to Bartholomew to get a camera angle that will allow us to get close enough to the seal to where he will automatically cause the camera to turn. Now Bartholomew wants to move up to his next post, but we're in his way. Okay, look at how we were positioned when we came into Bentley's outpost. Bentley is pointed straight forward, but the camera is about 15 degrees to the left. You can even see this reflected in the minimap. As always, D-pad movement is relative to the camera, so when we press forward here, Bentley will align himself with the camera. This is huge because if you talk to Bartholomew specifically while you are in his way, the camera will go back to that same offset angle. By talking to Bartholomew repeatedly and tapping forward after each time, we can turn.
Another gong.
Since I just got teleported, I always know exactly what angle I'm going to be at from here on out. All I really have to do is remember how many times to talk to Bartholomew. There is only a very thin range of angles that you can have for this next part. If we're pointed too southward, we won't be able to touch the box that's in our way and won't be able to push it out of the way. If we're pointed too westward, however, the game won't accept our input as trying to push the box because it would be a very weird angle to try to push the box from. That looked like I pressed left, but the only thing that I pressed was forward. I had to reset again because I didn't use Bartholomew the correct number of times. I actually had to go an entire 360 with him.
Now this is honestly the most tricky part.
Once the final box is in place, Bartholomew will run to the end of the level. I will be pointed about like this and will have to walk across this entire rectangle with no walls to guide me, which is not going to happen. So the plan is that once the box is in place, I will quickly move into Bartholomew's path so I can use him to turn one last time. It wasn't going well at first, but then I remembered a little trick I found where you could stand in a certain spot and spin to make the box move quickly.
Yeah, there we go.
And now I continue pushing the box at the speed of a snail. If I were to keep pushing the box from the left like a normal person would, I wouldn't be able to get in Bartholomew's path in time to stop him. I have to push the box to the left and keep going on with my very slow strategy for 5 more minutes. As indicated by the 2 thudding sounds, I pushed the box into place but then accidentally pushed it back out of place. Bartholomew has already begun moving, but with the box now out of place, can he still make it to the end of the level, and if not, what am I going to do about it? I had no way to answer those questions. I just had to hope for the best, and if I was wrong, my investment portfolio would never recover.
Okay, that looks like a decent angle for jumping over with. Bartholomew's moving still. What? Oh, okay, there he goes. And there I go. Oh, that was close.
Thanks, bro. Here's a little something for your rock collection.
Let's go.
But we are still not out of the woods. I tried to go to Fireworks Factory but couldn't because I didn't yet have 50 eggs.
Not good. Not good. Yeah.
And then I tried to get into Lost Fleet, which was somehow a 15-minute endeavor.
Please. Oh my god, finally. Why did that take so long?
In Lost Fleet, there are wooden walls which were meant to break with cannons. As per my last email, aiming a cannon counts as steering. From watching speedruns, we found out that you could break the walls by supercharging them after doing level storage. So that's what I set out to do, but if I'm going to do level storage again, I'm going to make full use of it.
If I could fly in Icy Peak, I could probably get 2 more eggs, I think. What is that last egg, though? Oh, that's on the treetops. Okay. Oh, right, the egg thief. There's an egg that's... Why didn't I think of that when I was... the first time I did level storage? I could have got that egg near the waterfall. Okay then, I guess it's time for level storage. Yay, everybody's favorite thing to watch me attempt to do and fail at 500 times. Let's just be real. Just go. Do I remember how to do this? No, not really. Happy birthday, don't you dare. There will be dire consequences.
Oh. What? That changes nothing, but okay. I can't believe I just did that. What the hell? I was still afraid of soft locking when the timer ran out, and this egg was cutting it too close. The egg. Well, we can still try the guidebook to get out of here, at least, and hopefully it'll be okay. What else do we have to do? Alright, everything's fine. Just barely. There's a Zoe there. If I get Zoe to save my place there, that could be helpful. Let's see what angle we get. Okay, that's perfect. Actually perfect. The benefits of slowing down and looking. Try to tackle Lost Fleet now. That's a great start. This was a huge mistake, because somehow through the magic of level storage, this wall is now permanently erased. This is bad because our companion NPC, Crazy Ed, needs the wall to be destroyed. If the wall is never there, it can never send the signal to his programming to tell him that the path is clear. If Ed can't get to the end of the level, then we can never get the main egg, and we can never get to Midnight Mountain. In layman's terms, we're fucked. I tried everything to fix him, and it didn't work. There was only one thing left to do. All of it. Again. We are fucking back. I haven't really found anything that will help me avoid that soft lock again, but I have backed up my save file this time, so it's not gonna get me. As long as he and the wall state are synced, then everything's okay, I guess. Bro. Okay. Oh no, that's not good. I can't pause the game. I did not do that. Okay, so that explains that. Oh. Okay. Huh? Huh? Oh, okay. Fuck you, Craig. But the excitement of clearing Lost Fleet was short-lived. Remember earlier when I went to the fireworks factory portal and found I needed 50 eggs to enter? Usually I would enter every portal in a homeworld as soon as I got there to ensure I can in fact get into them so I don't have to do the movement later. It doesn't really matter in the end, but I think it's better that way. When I saw that this portal was not working though, I began to focus on eggs instead and never actually figured out how I would get into this portal. Now the time had actually come, and things didn't look good. I spent a rather long time looking for any way I could maneuver Spyro into the portal given the shape of the cave being what it was. I even looked at the collision mesh in Blender and visualized potential paths with paint.net. A direct approach was clearly out of the question. I had two options. Option 1, get out of bounds, with 3 different methods. Out of bounds method 1, let the 30-second timer run out with level storage. Level storage works by tricking the game into not deleting the objects out of Icy Speedway when you go into other levels. The objects of Icy Speedway still exist far, far away. When the timer runs out, you get teleported to the viewpoint you see in the background of the fail screen. While this does teleport you, it does not change Spyro's angle. His angle will remain whatever it was when the timer ran out. You could hypothetically fly from that viewpoint to the fireworks factory portal, if it were not for the fact that the portal won't exist. Only the whirligig, as I found out by teleporting myself. Also, when I say far, far away, I'm talking multiple real-world kilometers, so a 10-minute timer would be mandatory and getting the right angle would be task-level precise. There are also invisible barriers surrounding flight levels that force you to do a 180. I guess that wouldn't be a problem if you stored Canyon Speedway instead of Icy because Canyon has natural barriers, but for all the other reasons this is still a non-starter. Out of bounds method 2, flying out with level storage. This won't work because of height caps. When flying, there is some maximum altitude that Spyro can reach. Normally you could do a certain set of inputs to go past the height cap, but with the no steering limitation, that's not possible. The height cap that's in effect is the same one that applies to the level that you stored. Icy Speedway's height cap is rather low. Canyon and Metro are hardly any better. For reasons I won't get into, Ocean Speedway is not usable for level storage. As far as I'm aware, there's no way to store a Spyro 1 flight level. Spyro 3's flight levels are a different story. Hypothetically, you can store them in a manner very much like how you store Spyro 2 flight levels. A crucial step for level storage, however, is that we must enter a portal during the cutscene that introduces the relevant boss. Fortunately, we happen to be able to fly out of the Speedway's portal when doing this glitch. The problem is that unlike in Spyro 2, the homeworld's ground has been deloaded by the time you regain control of Spyro. Out of bounds method 3, low FPS bullshit. Apparently, if you charge into certain places with low FPS, you can just move past the walls. I couldn't get it to happen. With all those methods eliminated, that leaves us with option 2, deleting the water. This would hinge on the same obscure method of Spyro 3 level storage as before, but instead of going back into a portal, we would just skip the cutscene immediately, defeat Spike, and the water in Evening Lake would just be gone. Apparently this would also cause all of the homeworld's portals to be open even when they should not be, but I did find some more eggs I could collect to have Spike's egg be my 50th, so I had that covered either way. Unfortunately, I just could not pull this trick off. I could do it with Buzz easily, but not once with Spike, who I had to do it with. I asked speedrunners about it and they couldn't point out what I was doing wrong. One lead was that my PC was too fast, as it was known that if a storage device operated too quickly, the trick was impossible. So I bought a new battery for my old laptop. You know, the one I used back when my channel blew up. Ah, good times. Anyway, nothing changed. Evening Lake was wet as ever. Another idea came up that it might only work on consoles, so I had someone with a console try the trick out for me, and still nothing. Without anyone able to testify that this trick worked specifically when going from Midday Gardens to Evening Lake, much less provide a clip of it, I could not in good conscience proceed with this trick, even though I do know cheats I could use to emulate it. We have been defeated quite handily by a single bend. If the cave was a straight path, everything would be fine. If there was no water, it would be fine. I go into these challenges knowing there will be trials though. I am not surprised with this outcome, and it's okay.